Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you another PlayStation 4 review, and today's review is for 911 Operator. A game that has been out for some time on PlayStation 4, and I have had this in my library for quite some time. I did put some gameplay up of this several years ago on the channel, never got around to reviewing it at the time, but because game releases are so slow right now and there's no games that I'm particularly interested in that are being released, I'm revisiting games in my library that I haven't had a chance to review before, and also some of the games that I bought in the recent sale in the PlayStation's PSN store. So 911 Operator then, what kind of game is this? Well, it's also a mobile game, I believe. I haven't played it on any mobile devices. Like I said, I picked it up a few years ago on PlayStation 4, and essentially it's a strategy time management type game where you play a 911 operator, as it says in the title, and it is your job to control the emergency services in your city. Now, you've got a couple of options when you start this game. You've got career option, and you've got free game, which essentially is just, a free game is just, go in there and there's no real consequences to your actions and things like that. You just go in there and have fun. The career is essentially the same thing, but you've got predetermined maps that you've got to work through, if you like, and same thing, there's more consequences. If you don't do your job effectively enough, you'll be fired. And you start your day, and it takes about 10 minutes, I believe, give or take, to complete a day. And in that day you will be given a number of activities to do. So like, you'll get some actual phone calls, and these are voice acted phone calls, and they will report a number of incidents, and it could be anything to do with fire, there might be fighting in the streets, there might be a robbery, there might be someone has collapsed in the street. I mean, there's a whole array of different calls that you can get. Some of them do repeat themselves, I'm not going to lie, the calls. But as you get on different maps and as you progress further in the game, it does seem to vary up a little bit more, and you get some variety, some quite nice variety. And it's your job as the operator to get the right information out of this caller. So ask them where they are, so you ask for the address, ask for certain pieces of information. If it's someone that's injured on the floor, ask them if you can see any injuries, if they're breathing, if there's fighting in the street, ask how many, do they have any weapons, if there's been a robbery, all this kind of stuff. So you're asking all these specific questions so that you know which emergency service you need to send, and it might be an ambulance, it might be the police, it might be the fire department, it might be all three depending on the incident. So you've got to direct them and send them to certain areas of the city to deal with these situations. Occasionally, I mean, it can get a bit manic because you'll get a few calls at once. You'll get actual calls with voice actors, like I said, but you also get like these quick incidents that pop up, and it might just be a smaller incident with text-based issues, and you've got to deal with that and send, like I said, fire department, police department, ambulance service to different parts of the city. So you've got to manage where you're sending who, determine which are the most serious and send them to those places. Occasionally you'll send a police officer to one location and he needs backup because they're under fire. It's a bit like the This Is the Police game, if you remember that game. I really enjoyed that game, but this isn't just as in-depth, and to be fair, it's not as good as This Is the Police, but it is no denying that this game is highly addictive, and you'll find yourself losing 2 or 3 hours playing this, not knowing where the time has gone, because you do get into this real addictive gameplay loop of sending things out to the right places and observing how quick it takes for them to finish that call, and then you need them to go on to the next call, and then at the end of the day you look at how much money has been earned, and you earn the money by doing the job successfully. And at the end of the day, you look at some of the people might have been promoted, i.e. your police officers, your fire officers, that kind of stuff. Some of them might have been injured, so you might be sending out a depleted force next time. There might be only one police officer in a car. So you've got to manage your resources at the end of each day, look at how much money you've got, and you can buy a number of things to improve your departments. You can buy new vehicles, which are quite expensive. You need to save up your money to get those. You can recruit new staff, police officers, ambulance officers, and fire brigade officers. You can recruit all those, and you can also buy a whole array of new equipment, new weapons for your police officers, new equipment for your fire brigade, like fire suits, fire extinguishers, fire masks, bomb disposal units, dogs for the police vehicles, shotguns, assault rifles, a whole array of equipment you can look to purchase. All of it costs money, and then you can add it. You've got like slots next to your police officers, for example, and you can add whether you want to put a bulletproof vest in there and a weapon. Always usually have a weapon in there, and a police dog, a taser, even that sort of thing, so you can equip them all so they're better equipped to deal with situations when they go out there. So it's really not much more complicated than that. I mean, the fun thing is with this game as well is it says it can download the map no matter where you are. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I typed in Halifax, which is where I'm based in West Yorkshire, and it pretended to download a map, but the problem with it is when you look at the map, it doesn't have any street names and things like that, so I couldn't figure out if it actually was Halifax where I lived. You know, I'm not that much of a map person to look at a map and think, yeah, that's Halifax. But there's loads of different maps. It doesn't get really much more complicated than that. It's quite an addictive gameplay loop. However, it's a very, very basic game, but it's also a game you can pick up dirt cheap. No idea how much it costs on a mobile device. I think it's in the most recent sale in the PlayStation Store that's just come on this last day or so. So it might be worth picking up if it's the sort of game that you're interested in. I find it quite addictive, but it is a very, very basic game. Graphically, there's nothing to speak about here, guys. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It does satisfy an itch if you're that kind of strategic gameplay player, but other than that, don't expect much from this one, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this review useful.